Hi there, third years, and welcome to this overview on understanding how to put your PR3 FA1 together and understanding the brief so that you are able to put a really good assignment and presentation together. There's quite a few elements in this FA1, so there's a lot that we have to get through in order to understand how to do it. So first up, just a reminder that everything that you need is on Cole Campus. So hop onto Cole Campus and you'll find within week 1 and week 2 and week 3, there is a briefing document, there is a how-to document, and so everything that I'm doing in this class, you can find everything. Although I give you access to it during the recording, you can find everything on Cole Campus and access everything. So 2 documents that you need to understand and that you need to be able to work your way through. And I'm going to share with you the official briefing document. Now, this document it's so important that you read through all the details in here and you understand exactly what is required of you. Remember, we spoke in our earlier discussion about how every assignment that you do is a presentation to a client. Every assignment that you do, you're handing it and you're handing it in and you're doing it as if you were trying to get business, all right? So the first part of that is understanding the brief and being able to deliver exactly what the client has asked for. And it's very hard to give the client what they've asked for if you haven't read or understood their brief. So first up, let's look at the scope of this assignment. Identify a South African company. So when we say South African, we mean a company that operates in South Africa. They could be a multinational company that started somewhere else, but as long as they have South African offices and they are represented in South Africa. So, and the whole assignment is about what they do and how they do it and how you will fix this situation for them in South Africa. So identify a South African company that acted unethically between August 2020 and March 2022. So you've got to go online, you've got to do research, and you've got to find a company that's operating in South Africa that did something unethically between this timeline, August 2020 and March 2022. Then you are required to complete the following using the PRISA 7-step model. So we know how to put a PRISA 7-step plan together now. Design a public relations program for the company that you have identified. Include in your public relations program a discussion of public relations tactics and strategies that could have been used to manage or improve the situation and the image of the company. One of your activities for your PR program, you must include an example of a detailed press release that you would send out on behalf of your client, detailing the measures and plans that will be put in place to rectify this unethical situation. So you're a PR professional, you're applying all the skills and all the knowledge that you've gained so far in public relations, and you have identified a South African company that has done something unethical. It might not be hugely in the public domain. It might be something that you know about, something that you've heard about, but you have to identify this company, showcase what they have done and show what they've done that was unethical. And then you're going to put a PR campaign together to fix, improve, and to show how if you were the PR practitioner handling the situation, how you would have handled the situation, handled the crisis, and fixed the reputation of the organization moving forward. The second part of this assignment is that you have to present a 7-minute summary, exactly 7 minutes, not over and not under, of your proposed public relations program on a digital platform, so on Zoom or MS Teams. This is important. You have to liaise with your lecturer to find out during the week of submission when you will actually be doing your Zoom or your MS Teams submission. So find out the date and the time when that will happen, but very important that you know that this is an online presentation. And basically we're doing it online so that you show us that you are used to or getting used to online meetings, online presentations in this new world of ours where a lot happens online now. So we've got to get you used to how we use and present online. So that's the brief, and you can go through in detail all the learning outcomes, the assessment criteria and mark breakdown. That's all important, and what the evidence requirements are. But basically now you have to look at how are you going to put this presentation together and this 7-step plan. So you're going to upload your detailed 7-step plan onto Cole Campus, and then you're going to present a summary of that campaign to your lecturer via Zoom or on MS Teams. So let's now look at the document that I have put on that is on Cole Campus for you, and you can look at this and really see how we expect this assignment to be done. So how to do the FA, so how to do your formative assessment and get 70%. Remember, 70% is our goal for the year, to make sure that you show that you really have an understanding of everything to do with public relations. So this is a public relations program for a South African company that has behaved unethically, that has done something unethical. And your 7-step plan and your media release are submitted between Saturday, the 26th of March and Friday, the 1st of April. And then you will liaise directly with your lecturer on what the presentation time is for you to present your online summary. So first of all, you've got to really before you start, have a clear understanding of ethics and what is ethical and what is unethical. We've done classes on this, and there are videos and notes and additional reading material placed on Cole Campus that you must have mastered, you must have read and really understood along with your semester A reader before you even start doing this assignment. So you have to have a very clear understanding of what is ethical and what is unethical. Right, you also have to have read your semester A reader, and there's a whole chapter on ethics. And then also, as a PR professional, it is very important that you do additional research as well. So go online, read articles, watch videos, anything more that you can do to really expand your knowledge and your understanding of what ethics is and how it goes together with our PR campaign. It's also very important that you go back to the assignments that you did in PR2, and you make sure that all the learnings that we gave you when we gave you feedback on those assignments, that you've applied all that feedback and that you understand where you went wrong and how you can improve when it comes to putting together a 7-step plan and writing a proper media release. So everything that you learned in PR1 and PR2, you're going to apply those basics to this PR3 assignment. And remember, in 3rd year, you have to get the basics right. We're not marking you and judging you on your basics anymore. We're now looking at how you are applying the theory of 1st year and 2nd year, and how you're putting this together as a PR professional, as someone that is in the industry, and now this is your plan of action, how you're going to fix the reputation of an organization that has behaved unethically. So, step 1, very important that you read and understand the brief. So go back to it, make sure you've read it, make sure you've got all the details and you understand this client brief, and that you give the client, i.e. your lecturer, exactly what we've asked for. Don't go and do things that weren't in the brief and waste time and marks, because the problem is when we mark it, we're marking according to the brief. And any information that you shared or did that wasn't in the brief is not going to get you extra marks or impress us because it wasn't in the brief. So a clear understanding of what the client has asked for and your ability to deliver it. So just in revision, identify a South African company, so a company that has got offices, a head office, and operates in South Africa, but that doesn't mean only in South Africa. And obviously that has acted unethically between August 2020 and March 2022. Please excuse the typo on those slides there. You are required to complete the assignment on behalf of the company. So you are you are the representative of this organization, and you are presenting as if you are the representative of this organization. So the company is your client, and you are putting this assignment together for the client. The assignment is made up of 3 key parts. First of all, there's a 7-step plan, there's a media release, and then there's your presentation. And the marks allocated to all of that are important. So don't leave any of the sections out. Make sure you do all of them. Right, so using the PRISA 7-step plan, design a PR program for the company that you've chosen. Now, remember, if they've acted unethically, you want to very quickly sort this out. You want to very quickly ensure that their reputation is fixed and that they are taking the correct steps to fix the reputational damage and to stand out and to stand up against this kind of unethical behavior. So you have to put tactics and strategies together to manage or improve that situation. So by now we understand the basics of a 7-step plan. Number 1, defining the situation. And this is now defining the situation that your client finds themselves in. Right now, as of today, as of you doing this assignment, where is the client? What has happened? What is the situation? And what is the damage that it has caused? Remember, because you are presenting to the client, you don't need to give detailed background information on how long the company has been operating and how many employees they have, all of those kind of facts that the client will already have access to. But you could say something that because we've been operating for 50 years, this is a 50-year reputation that we are running the risk of ruining or that we need to fix. Then obviously your objectives for your campaign, what are you hoping to achieve by putting this campaign together? You're not going to have pages and pages of objectives. As a 3rd-year student, we require you to look at the campaign and say, what are we hoping to achieve? And there are going to be probably between 5 and 10 very key and solid objectives that you're going to be putting together for this campaign. So what are you hoping to achieve? And most importantly, you want to fix the reputation of this organization, and you want to assure your stakeholders that you are on top of it, that you are working with the authorities, that you are working with the right industry bodies or regulatory bodies, and that you are that it is paramount that your stakeholders understand that you are on top of this and that you understand what has happened and what will be done. Then there are going to be primary and secondary stakeholders. Primary are those directly affected by this campaign, and then your secondary stakeholders, those that are indirectly affected by the campaign. Then you have messages and angles that you're going to have to quickly get out. Again, there's not going to be pages and pages of editorial angles. There's probably going to be, again, between 3 and 5 key messages that you're putting together that you want to get out to accept or take responsibility, to accept and show accountability, and to show your stakeholders that you are doing everything that needs to be done to fix this situation. Then obviously there are PR activities and tactics. It's not going to go on for months and months on end. In order to fix the reputation, there's a few key things that you're going to have to do. And then over an extended period of time, there are also going to be other things that you might do to show your stakeholders how genuine you are about fixing the situation that you find yourself in. You're going to need a budget. How much will this PR campaign cost? And then how are you hoping to measure success? And your evaluation criteria need to match up with your objectives in terms of, did the campaign or will this campaign reach your objectives and fix the reputation of the organization? So you also have to put a media release together that you would send to the media that details or acknowledges responsibility, takes accountability, shows empathy, but also showcases how you are fixing this situation and how you are leading from the front and how your entire team is working towards improving or fixing the reputation of the organization and whatever it is that has been done to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Remember, a press release is a neutral, factual, opinion-free piece of third-person writing. opinion-free piece of third-person writing of at least 450 words long, professionally written and outlining the situation and how it will be fixed. In essence, you are sending this media release to the journalists on your media list. And remember, your media list falls under your stakeholders, under media, and who are the journalists that you need to send this press release to, so that you are in control and you are explaining and you are showing the media that you and your other stakeholders that you are in charge and in control, and you are fixing this situation and the negative perceptions. You must include the who, what, where, when, how, and why. Very important. And very importantly, when we mark this assignment, we are asking ourselves, is this fit for publication? Is this a press release or a media release that we could send out immediately to the media? The spelling, the grammar, the information that is shared, the factual accuracy of it, that you have the correct understanding of all the information, all of that needs to be in this press release. And we look at it and we go, is this fit for publication? Would a journalist be able to use it? Then your 7-minute summary of your program. So you can do this on PowerPoint. You can do a summary on PowerPoint or Prezi. And then just like I'm doing in this particular video, you are sharing your screen, but you are still talking to camera, and you are still showcasing your client in your presentation how you are going to fix this problem and how you are, the steps that you're taking. So it's important that you remember this is not your 7-step plan, and you're not talking from the first sentence of step 1 to the last sentence of step 7. You're not presenting the entire 7-step campaign. You are giving us the highlights. You're giving us the key messages, and you're giving us the Reader's Digest version. So we're going to watch this presentation, and as the client, we're going to go, wow, this PR person knows exactly what they're doing. They know the messages. We trust that they understand this campaign and that they are going to implement it. And then we're going to go and look at your detailed 7-step plan, and we're going to see the expanded on information and messages. So you are not reading your entire 7-step plan to us. You are basically providing the client with an overview of your campaign and what you have planned to achieve and how you plan to do it. You also are going to need to dress professionally, have a professional background, and understand how to use PowerPoint on Zoom or on MS Teams. And you are very clearly using PowerPoint during this 7-minute presentation to highlight or illustrate key concepts, ideas, or thoughts. And again, obviously, it mustn't be longer than 7 minutes. Your assignments must also have a professional cover page, and you must state which campus you are registered. So if you're studying in Sandton, Arcadia, or Durban, and again, you need a plagiarism declaration, and it's very professional to have a table of contents as well. Your reference page must include the official website of the company that you've chosen. Your PR2 and PR3 textbooks are very valuable, and obviously you wouldn't be able to do this without them. And then any other sources that you may have used in order to compile and put this assignment together. But it is important to note that this is not a theoretical assignment. Nowhere in your presentation should you be giving your client the definition of ethics or the definition of PR or the definition of a stakeholder, all right? We haven't asked anywhere for you to define. We're asking you to take your theory and come up with your own plan and your own ideas that you are applying to this very real situation. So your client doesn't need definitions. Your client doesn't need theory. Your client wants to know right here, right now, what are we going to do to fix this problem that we're in? And what is it that we have done that is unethical? How are our stakeholders viewing it as unethical? And how can we quickly and professionally put a campaign together that is going to solve this problem and that is going to show our stakeholders that we take this kind of accusation or this kind of thing very seriously. Remember, for a company to be known as or thought as unethical does huge reputational damage, and that damage damages your employees, your relationships with stakeholders, and damages your business. And so it's up to you now as the PR person to fix this damage quickly and professionally. So once you've chosen the organization and the issue that you want to focus on, you're going to have to do detailed research. Google the company and the incident to see how much coverage it got. If it was on the front page of every single newspaper in South Africa, then you have a huge campaign ahead of you. Whereas if it was only in 1 or 2 regional publications, then it's going to be a lot easier to fix and a lot easier to put things in place without having to reach national media and go wide with the message. Remembering, of course, that you don't want to make the message, you don't want to make the unethical behavior bigger than it already is. So if it's only happened in a small contained environment, if it's only happened at the workplace and it only involves the employees, then you're not going to go to the national media and explain how you've behaved unethically. You're going to fix the problem. You're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. You're going to educate staff and employees on how to ensure this doesn't happen again. You might have ethics training and an ethics committee, and then only afterwards you would go to media and say, this is something that our company is passionate about and how we're implementing it and why. Go on to social media and see what people said about the organization, see what their comments were made on Twitter, and research the company's vision and mission statement. Because obviously what they say in their vision and their mission statement is very different to what they've done. You know, when a company acts unethically, that basically means that they went off their vision and their mission. And so a good journalist will look at your vision and mission and say, but this is what you're saying, but it's not what you're doing. So how are you going to implement a campaign that shows people that what you say and what you do are the same thing? Ensure you also do some research on the law and the laws surrounding the issue, because there might be certain legalities that you need to understand in terms of protecting identities, protecting people's personal information, that kind of thing. Find out, research, and visit the pages of the industry regulators in this particular sector. And you also need a detailed understanding of the organization and all its stakeholders. Also, what impact has this issue had on employees, on customers, on your company share price if it's a publicly listed company? Brand perception and reputation. That research is important because you will include that in your situational analysis. What impact has this particular unethical behavior had on our business? Has media coverage been extensive? And what has the media been saying is also important that you understand and include in your situational analysis. The best way to start the assignment is do all the client research, organize all the information into your 7-step plan, come up with a plan, decide on your messages and activities, and then begin to flesh out and detail your 7-step plan. Once your 7-step plan has been completed to perfection, you can then start writing your media release, and then you can start preparing what you're going to do in your presentation and the overview, and start practicing your presentation. Obviously, the first time that you present shouldn't be on the day that your lecturer is watching. You should have practiced it several times beforehand. And remember, all 3 assignments, your 7-step plan, your presentation, and your press release, should all have the same tone, the same messaging, the same ideas, and should all be one consolidated document that a client would look at. Also remember company colors, logos, that kind of thing to make your presentation and your documents look professional. Fact checking and spell checking. And at a 3rd year level, obviously this is just unforgivable if you get facts wrong and your spelling and your grammar and sentence structure is bad. So it's obvious to see this. It is obvious to see if you worked on it at the last minute. So make sure that you aren't working on this last minute, that you are spending all the time. Get a 3rd person to look at it. Get someone who knows nothing about it to look at it, to check that what you're saying and how you are saying it is done properly. Then also you now have to do a presentation online. You've got to look at the camera. You don't want to be looking over here at slides and not making eye contact with the person that you're presenting to. So don't memorize your speech. Use cue cards or use your slides and your presentation to guide you with what you're saying. So everything I'm doing now on this video, I haven't written down and memorized, but I've got the slides in front of me that highlight what I need to say, and then I'm just referring to them as I go. So you don't want to be reading off your slides or reading off a piece of paper, fussing with a piece of paper and turning pages while you're doing a presentation. It's a good idea to record yourself doing it. You can do it on Zoom. You just record the class or record your presentation and then go back and watch it and see how you sound, see what you say, see that you're making eye contact and that you're coming across professionally and presenting professionally. Make sure you pronounce things properly, so you learn how to pronounce people's names and places, because in this situation, you don't want to be mispronouncing things. Make sure that your speech is no longer than 7 minutes. So we normally allow for 6 minutes because that will then let you expand upon things and allow for any mistakes or technical glitches that you might have. You can also practice your speech to the mirror. So talk to yourself in a mirror, and then you'll see that you're shaking your head too much, or you're playing with your clothing, or you're fiddling around. See how you do that, and then obviously make sure that you improve on that. And the more times you practice your speech, the more times you do it over and over again, the easier it is to deliver and the less nervous you will be. You'll be nervous because it's the first time you've done it. But if you've presented it many, many times and you've practiced it over and over again, and you are confident in your content and you are confident in your message and your plan, then obviously that's going to come across in your presentation. Don't use too much jargon. Don't use big words that are difficult to pronounce. Remember, the simpler you keep it, the easier it is, and the clearer it comes across, and the more professionally, the professional way it comes across. Obviously, you need to start now. If you haven't started, if you haven't chosen the organization yet, choose that organization, start researching, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to wait till the end of class, pop into your lecturer and say, 2 minutes, I just want to ask you a few questions, or I just want to check a few details with you. Remember, your lecturers have the knowledge, your lecturers have the experience. Your lecturers probably know the situation that you are doing, or the unethical situation already, because we watch the news and we know what's going on. So don't be afraid to ask us for help. That's why we're there, all right? We really are there to help you and guide you. And there's nothing worse than someone saying at the end of everything that I wish I'd asked for help, because then you'll be supping and it's a waste of time. So don't be scared. All the lecturers, we're friendly, we're accommodating, we are here to help you. And obviously we want to see you do well. So don't leave it until the last minute. Don't be asking for help a few hours before. Plan it, put a timeline together, and really, work hard on every aspect and try your best. And again, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. And we really do want you to achieve and do really, really well in this assignment. Also, just a quick reminder, go back to the basics, go back to your PR2 textbook. This particular textbook that you had in second year is going to be very, very helpful for this assignment. Also, go back to the feedback that we gave you on your 7-step plans in your portfolio and in your assignments, and make sure you don't make the same mistakes again. Go onto Cole Campus, watch all the videos, watch everything that we've put on there, read everything that we've put there, and immerse yourself in this particular assignment. And really, you should be enjoying this. This should be something that you say, challenge accepted, I'm a PR professional, I've got this, and you're good to go. All right, so don't forget to ask us questions, and wishing you all the best of luck as you start on your FA1 assignment.